The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello all, thank you for joining us today. On behalf of everyone at Mitra Innovation, it's a pleasure to welcome you to our latest webinar. My name is Claire, the Marketing Events Manager here at Mitra Innovation, and I'll be your webinar host today. In today's webinar, we'll be taking a look at the AWS Machine Learning Marketplace, which was launched late last year. We will be looking at why it was introduced, its purpose and how it works, and also what you can get from it. Following this, we'll then go on to Mitra's own machine learning models that are available on the marketplace and show you how you can access these. Before we get started, just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box on your control panel, and we'll answer as many as possible at the end of the session. Just before we do get stuck into the content of today's webinar, just want to take you through who Mitra is as an organisation. We founded in 2012 and we've helped numerous organisations, entrepreneurs, investors all embrace innovative solutions to enable them to be truly competitive in their sector and thrive in an ever-changing digital environment. We help companies achieve their digital goals via a whole host of services, including product incubation, digital transformation, machine learning, integration, and cloud migration. Underpinning all of this are our company values, which are all here on the screen. So these ensure we deliver customer-centric, innovative solutions by being employee-focused, or driven by our passion to deliver excellent quality. So now we've done the overview, I hope you're all ready. So without further ado, I will hand you over to Kalani, who will take you through today's exciting AWS Marketplace webinar.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you everyone for joining with us today. First, we will look at what is AWS Marketplace. AWS Marketplace is a digital catalog of thousands of software listings from independent software vendors that make it easy to find, test, and deploy software that run on AWS. At the moment, there are about 4,200 product listings covering over 35 categories. These categories are covering over infrastructure software, developer tools, business IT, machine learning, IoT, and desktop application categories. And by the time we have about 1,400 participating independent software vendors in the AWS market. The seller model has been made very user-friendly. It's a pay-as-you-go model where you will only be paying for the resources and the duration that you use them. And in the last year's AWS reInvent, now AWS reInvent, the biggest AWS event held annually, where they are introducing the latest innovations and also changes to their existing structure and models. So last year they introduced a new seller model where independent software vendors can authorize channel partners to sell on their behalf, which has made a win-win situation for both parties. And let's look at what is AWS Machine Learning and Artificial Intelligence Marketplace. So this is the biggest introduction of 2018 AWS reInvent, which was held in 2018 November. So at the initiation, there were about 212 machine learning models which were curated, and by now we have about 215 machine learning models. These are covering over 14 industry segments, and if you know what you are looking for, you can search over about 53 machine learning categories. If you are looking, for example, computer vision or text analysis, the browsing experience has been made very easy for you to find out the models that you are looking for. And these were launched by 30+ launch partners, including Mitra Innovation. And the important fact is these models and algorithms have been tested by 9 launch line preview customers who have been testing them in terms of their functionality and user interface design as well. Most importantly, in the machine learning marketplace, you can simply subscribe without investing a lot of money initially to develop the models in-house. So some of these models are free to download, and some of them have free trial, and some have paid licensing types from which you can choose the way that you want to use them. And next, we will continue to look at the marketplace. So the 2018 reInvent theme was catering for those who can and those who can't. And keeping up with this theme, AWS introduced a way for people, those organizations who are competent in machine learning and data science to benefit, as well as organizations who are interested in getting a hold of machine learning and its capabilities to use it without investing a lot of money. And a lot of organizations at the moment do not have the technology know-how or the expertise in data science for them to start building their own machine learning models. So simply they can go to the machine learning marketplace and plug in these models and algorithms into their Sagemaker environment and use them very easily. And at the same time, organizations who are building machine learning models and who have in-house data scientists, they can actually take their models into the marketplace and monetize them. So this is a win-win situation for both those who can and those who can't. And at the same time, I must say it is a great step ahead in accelerating the progress of machine learning and artificial intelligence over time. Next, we will look at what can you actually get from the machine learning marketplace. If you go to the machine learning marketplace, you can see there are algorithms and model packages. What are algorithms? Algorithms are models, custom models that you can train using your own data. And this is for more expert users who are familiar with the algorithms and who want to make their own customizations and parameter tuning. And model packages are pre-trained by the seller and ready to be used. So this is for the developers who want to get a feel of machine learning, experiment with it. They can simply plug these models into their Sagemaker environment and use the endpoints for generating inferences. Let's look at AWS Machine Learning Marketplace and what it gives us as buyers and as sellers. For the buyers, if you look at the open source software, you can get a lot of open source machine learning software solutions as well. But the problem is there is a technical risk in bringing them into your production environments. What AWS Machine Learning Marketplace gives is it is scanning these solutions in the marketplace 24/7. So this is the unique value proposition offered by AWS. And if you look at the marketplace, customers can browse through vast number of pre-trained models and identify the solutions that actually best suit them. So and you know that these models are trusted, and you can be more comfortable in bringing them into your production environment. And at the same time, there are ratings and reviews given for these software, so you can easily browse through the solutions that actually best suit them. And the next point is customers get to protect their data. Let's say you use an algorithm and you train it with your own data set, or you use a model and test it with your own data set. This data, this test data that you use is protected from the seller. Seller would not is separated from the seller, and he would not get access to your data. So you can have your intellectual property violations without getting them violated. And at the same time, this is applicable for sellers as well. So sellers also can protect the intellectual property and sell package solutions. Let's see how we can build machine learning solutions with AWS. The first step is you identify there is a machine learning problem, there is a problem, and you need to bring in machine learning solution. So the first step that you would go about is collecting the data that you would require, and then it goes to a data integration process followed by data preparation and cleansing. Next, after cleansing, you will do some visualization analysis, and then you have to go through feature engineering. Next, you will be developing your model. You will be tuning your parameters, and after you tune them, you will evaluate the model whether it gives the best results that you require. And if the business predictions are okay, you would go ahead and deploy the models. And at the same time, you will continue on to monitoring and debugging as well. But this process is tedious, and it's not very straightforward for us to for the novice for those who are newcomers to machine learning. So let's look at how this has been simplified with AWS services. In 2017, AWS introduced Amazon SageMaker, which is aimed at bringing machine learning to the mainstream developer. AWS SageMaker is a fully managed machine learning service, and data scientists and developers both can quickly and easily build and train machine learning models and then directly deploy them into a production-ready hosted environment using SageMaker. When SageMaker was initially introduced, it was shipped with 6 built-in algorithms, and by now it has expanded to 13 built-in algorithms. And let's next look at how you can use the other AWS services along with SageMaker. So I described a long process how you can creating a machine learning model, starting from a data ingestion to model hosting. So for instance, once you identify a machine learning problem, you would be required to store your data, and you can use the Amazon S3 buckets for that. And then Amazon has Glue, which you can use to transform and cleanse your data. And Amazon Athena is there where you can do your ad hoc querying, and QuickSight for visualizations. And of course, again, Glue can be used for feature extractions, and with SageMaker, you can do your model development, training, and evaluation, and you can store your models in the S3 buckets again. And let's look at how you can deploy these models using SageMaker as well. So Amazon SageMaker also provides model hosting services for model deployment, and as described in the diagram on the slide, it provides an HTTPS endpoint where your machine learning model is available to provide inferences. I briefly went through these slides, but if you're more interested in learning about building and deploying machine learning models with AWS SageMaker, you can visit our previous webinar on our Mitra website. If you can just log into www.mitrai.com/events and go to past webinars, you can get more information on how you can build and deploy machine learning solutions with SageMaker. And next, we will look at Mitra on the AWS Marketplace. We are very proud to say that Mitra is a AWS consulting partner, and at the initiation of the Mitra Machine Learning Marketplace, we also submitted 3 models, and we will describe in the next coming up slides. So in order to develop them, we used Jupyter as our notebook, and scikit-learn for machine learning, and TensorFlow and Keras for deep learning. The first model that we submitted was the Bitcoin Predictor. This is for the younger generation who is interested in cryptocurrencies, or the new generation who is interested in cryptocurrencies. Although there had been many fluctuations in the cryptocurrency market, the enthusiasm in cryptocurrency trading has not faded away. So what this does is it's designed to indicate the future cryptocurrency rates using an algorithm that analyzes historic performance, and it is able to track the factors affecting the price fluctuations. The business value you would get out of this is it would be giving you prediction of the Bitcoin value in the coming up 5 days. So this is a deep neural network. We have a pre-trained model with past data, and it's free to download, and you can use this as a reference for your Bitcoin trading. We are working on a newer version of the model, and you can get even the newer or more better versions in the future as well. And next, we will look at the diabetes detector. Diabetes is a chronic disease prevailing everywhere in the world, and whether it's not only the old people, but the younger generation is also becoming victims of diabetes. So there is no cure for this other than being mindful about your body and keep making sure that you stay healthy. So diabetes detector is designed to predict the probability of a person having diabetes based on several parameters including age, BMI, glucose level, and blood pressure. So the business value is before you actually get diabetes, or before the doctors identify that you have diabetes, and this is able to predict if if there is a chance, or if there is a probability of you getting diabetes in the future. So the features include glucose level, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, and age. And it is also a pre-trained model using neural networks and free to download from the AWS Marketplace. The most interesting one is the abusive comment detector. With the advancement of technology, a lot of social media platforms has been coming into place, and the downside of this is cyberbullying is increasing, and it has even led to people taking down their own lives, or hate speech and targeting certain people based on their ethnic group or religion. So it has become a very sensitive area where we have to decide, or where we have to look at how we can moderate them before they actually do some hurt to people. So abusive content detector is designed to detect abusive content and offensive language within a given text, and organizations can use this algorithm to analyze and control inappropriate comments and reviews. The business value anyone would get out of using this is, if you look at how forum moderation is done now, that is, users would go and flag the comments they find as inappropriate or toxic. This will be forwarded to a human moderator who would look at them and decide whether to take it down or not. This can be error prone and also time consuming. So what we're offering is a way that you can take away the human dependency in content moderation and use a pre-trained model which can detect the toxic comments and remove them from before they do any harm to the actual people. And it's free to download, and you're invited to test it out from the marketplace. Now let's get our hands on with Mitra machine learning models. We will see how we can subscribe to Mitra machine learning models which are in the AWS Marketplace. So if you go to AWS Marketplace and filter out by machine learning, and if you can just search for Mitra Innovation, you get the models submitted by Mitra Innovation. We have the 4 models. We have a neural style transfer using computer vision and Bitcoin Predictor, diabetes detector, and abusive text content detection. So I will try to subscribe and use abusive text detection. And the information is given here. Product overview is there, and you can have the pricing information. This is free to download, but you will be incurred the cost for using Sagemaker. And we also have user guide, so you can read through that as well. And let's click on continue to subscribe. And next you get the end user license agreement. Basically, you are not authorized to do any modifications or resell this for monetary gain. And let's click on continue to configuration. Here you will get the fulfillment option as Amazon SageMaker by default. The current version we have now is 1.0, and region is where you want to deploy the abusive content detector in SageMaker. I will select US East 1, the North Virginia region, and click on View in SageMaker. Now it was very simple. Right now you can see that you have the model in your SageMaker environment. We will select that and try to create an endpoint. Let's give a name as for the model. I gave toxic comment, and next is the IAM role. Here you can define a new IAM role if you like, but I'm going to go ahead with the default SageMaker execution role. And next is the virtual private network. By default, I'm going ahead with no VPC, but if you want, you can create your own VPC as well. The container definition is I'm going to use a model package subscription from AWS Marketplace. I'm not going to add any tags here, and just click on next. And it says, and I have to give endpoint name. I will say toxic comment. And we have to add an endpoint configuration. Let's create a new endpoint configuration. And these are the default values that you get in your configuration. So the instance type is m4.xlarge. So this is quite a huge instance type. So you can click on edit and change it if you like. But I'm going to go ahead with the default parameters for now. Let's create endpoint configuration. So you get a success message here, and let's click on submit. And you can see the toxic comment is getting created in the SageMaker toxic comment endpoint is getting created in the SageMaker environment. Since this would take a little bit of time, I have the same model deployed before, which is in service at the moment. And if you just click on that, you can go get the detailed view, which will give you the endpoint URL. We will just copy it from here. And I'm going to use Postman to make the request. I'll put a post request here, and I'll give the URL. Authorization would have to be selected as AWS signature, and here we have to send our data as a JSON. So I will copy a sample value that we want to test out. So I'm going to send the content as I hate you as a JSON, and let's click on send and see how the abusive text detection analyzes this. So here you can see you got 6 values. Basically, abusive text detection analyze this into or categorize that into 6 categories, and the first one is toxic normal, and then toxic severe, obscene, threat, insult, and identity hate. So you can see that the highest value is coming for toxic normal. So likewise, you can send in more content and see how it identifies, and based on that you can automate your systems to take down these comments or to keep them. So that's how you can use an endpoint and get your inferences. So looking at the summary, today we looked at what is AWS Marketplace and especially what is the AWS Machine Learning Marketplace, followed by machine learning process and how you can build machine learning solutions with AWS. And next we looked at Mitra machine learning models in the AWS Marketplace, and of course how you can subscribe to them and use them in your systems. So that is it all for we have for the Mitra for uncovering Mitra machine learning models in the marketplace. And stay tuned with us. We will be covering the individual models in the upcoming webinars. So thank you very much for joining with us today. Over to you, Claire.
Thank you very much, Kalani, for taking us through all of that. It's really exciting to see what's happening in the marketplace and how Mitra is getting involved. So looking forward to those future webinars on the specific models. Doesn't seem to be any questions from the audience today. So that's everything from us, I think. As I say, if you'd like to find out more about the upcoming webinars, you can go to the Mitra website, which is www.mitrai.com. So thank you again for joining, and we hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you. Bye-bye.